been the type you stay with. Tell myself that it's alright, not the one you spend your day with. But you can see me Friday night. Understand I'm not your favorite. I'm not even sure I'm mine, but I'll be your entertainment. Anything you want, that's fine. I'll be down to ride, swallowing my pride. Trust me, I don't mind at all. That I'm ugly, that I'm not that popular. Would you love me? 'Cause I'm a good timer, a good time. So I'm ugly, that I'm not that popular. Would you love me? 'Cause I'm a good timer, a good time. Want a man to be respected, keeping my commitments loose. I prefer to be rejected, and I know how to hold my booze. I'll be down to ride, swallowing my pride. Trust me, I don't mind at all. That I'm ugly, that I'm not that popular. Would you love me? 'Cause I'm a good timer, a good time. So I'm ugly, that I'm not that popular. Would you love me? 'Cause I'm a good timer, a good time. That I'm ugly, that I'm not that popular. Would you love me? 'Cause I'm a good timer, a good time. So I'm ugly, that I'm not that popular. Would you love me? 'Cause I'm a good timer, a good time. Never been the type you stay with. Tell myself that it's alright, not the one you spend your day with. But you can see me Friday night. Understand I'm not your favorite. I'm not even sure I'm mine, but I'll be your entertainment. Anything you want, that's fine. I'll be down to ride, swallowing my pride. Trust me, I don't mind at all. That I'm ugly, that I'm not that popular. Would you love me? 'Cause I'm a good timer.
You playing dots? Oh, I think I had you muted for a second there. Say something.
I'm playing dots.
Playing dots.
You guys ever play that game on your phone, Dots? No, you know what I'm talking about?
No, is it like you pop a bunch of dots or something?
It's like you connect dots and then it's a whole thing.
I'm into it.
It's really fun. It's a really fun game. You guys should play it. Anyway, hello. I'm gonna let you guys. I'm gonna let you guys right in behind the curtain here. Okay. The event is scheduled for 2 p.m. The event is scheduled for 2 p.m. on here. All of the announcements we made this week were saying 1 p.m. And that's because Nick and I live in different time zones.
Sure
And
do.
we have no idea what's going on ever. As of this morning, I was still under the impression that Nick is 1 hour later than me. That's not how it goes.
It's all good. And yeah, so without getting into the whole like boring stuff of it, Brent, why don't you tell them why the heck we're here? What are we doing here?
We are here for our release, the regular scheduled release live stream celebrating the release of our new song, Good Time.
Good time.
So we want to have a good time with all of you today. So we're going to hang out. I'm going to get my chat open because this is not how I want to do it. And yeah, so our new song Good Time came out this week. We hope you guys have listened. We hope you have enjoyed it thus far. We have been having a really good time with the responses. You guys have had a lot of really great puns concerning the song. So we're very thankful. We're very grateful. And the response so far has been great. We're always really lucky. Our releases, I don't worry about them anymore. You know what I mean? Like I used to get like so nervous. I don't know if you used to be like that, Nick, but I used to get really nervous.
No, I still get nervous, but just in a existential crisis type of way, not like a how will we be perceived type of way. Just you know, another song, another month goes by, I get older, and you know, I'm just thankful that we get to just make music and release it. It pops out of thin air, people connect with it. And yeah, that the gravity of that, I think, hits harder every time. I'm trying to disassociate in a good way and just say like, hey, it's fun. It's only a song, you know, but it's difficult. I care so much. We care so much. We put so much time and effort and have constructed our lives into, you know, making this music possible. But yeah, just a little existential dread every now and again, but you know, I'm good.
The pressure is real, but I will say, you guys definitely make it a lot easier on us, for sure. So thank all of you, and you know, thanks for everybody who's here right now. I think this is probably going to work out where we stay a little bit past an hour. Well, maybe not, because we're not getting started till 1:20. Just to make sure that whoever thought it was at 2 o'clock can still get in. But you guys are here now. So apparently some people got the memo, which is good. So yeah, so you guys were just listening to the song on repeat for the start of the stream. Hopefully you've already heard it. It's out now, like you said. Joshua, I see you're saying you were listening to it before. Oh, you found us through GTA.
Yeah, why don't we do some shout outs real quick?
Yeah.
Let's do it.
Go for it, dude. All yours.
Yeah, so let me scroll up just a little bit here. We got Moonlight Hamster, the one and only Hammy, Nico, Dekana, Dr. P. Agony, a Russian name that I can't pronounce. I apologize, but I see you. Brawl Diaz, the Olympian, Butterscotch, Josher, and Error 404 channel name not found. Oh, nice. I like that. And Vermin, what's up? Anyway, I just wanted to give everybody a shout out. Thanks for coming to the stream. Yeah. We really don't have much of an agenda other than
what's up?
What's up, Jakuba? Other than just hanging out, talking, whatever comes to mind. Talk about life, talk about music, you know, that kind of stuff.
So feel free to fire off questions in chat. You know, go for it. Anything that you wanted to ask. Lone Wolf.
Lone Wolf.
See you.
Yeah, you're right.
Nick didn't see you, but I see you.
Don't cry.
No, you guys are. Oh, Jacob, is that you? You're Jackass on Discord or whatever. That's funny. But anyway, we're here. So, like I said, feel free to fire off as many questions as you want. We'll try to answer them as best we can. But yeah, we'll start off, I guess, talking a little bit about the song. I'm gonna guess a lot of you. Well, how about this? How many of you guys? Yes, we do. And you should join. I'm sure somebody, probably Moonlight, will throw a link for the Discord in chat at some point, if that even works in here. But yes, we do have a Discord, and there we go. How about that? Nick got it. So join and hang out. And if you didn't know, on Wednesdays before releases, we do a pre-release party in there where you actually get to hear all of our songs early. So if you're interested in that kind of thing, you should definitely join the Discord.
Get to
We
hear it
have a
in
really,
crisp,
really
premium Discord voice channel audio.
just beautiful,
It's perfect.
crisp.
But yeah, join the Discord for sure.
Yeah. But yeah, feel free to. If I wanted to ask a little show of hands who was in the Discord pre-release. If you were there, just write something. Isn't John Lennon dead? I just have like a dead body in my apartment. Not me. Couldn't be me. Yeah. So a couple of you guys were in there. Oh, Nico, you're Red Star. Okay, cool. We even talked to you.
Oh yeah, Red Star. I think you asked a question in the stage.
Nora, okay.
What's up, Nora?
So a bunch of you guys were, so that's great. So you've already had some opportunity to kind of ask your questions. But if we didn't get to you, feel free. And I apologize if you guys have to listen to repeat answers, because some people might ask a question that you've already heard the answer to again. We definitely got a really good bunch of memes and screenshots from
Oh, we did, yeah.
It was really funny.
My ridiculous telescopic zoom, use big water, slow set.
Yeah. I walked out after we were done, and Arlene was like, I live with my girlfriend, guys, so she's always out. Whenever I'm doing this stuff, she's like out in the living room listening. And then I
Shout out
came out,
Arlene.
she was like, did you have fun? And I was like, yeah. She's like, it sounded like you had fun. So we had a pretty good one. She was like, you were laughing pretty loudly. So that worked out pretty well. So thanks all you guys for being there, and thanks for those of you who are doubling up. We really appreciate you guys spending so much time with us this weekend. That's fantastic. I had coffee this morning, so I'm like dehydrated now.
Nice. My nose is very itchy, and I'm trying not to I don't want to pick it, but I want to touch my nostrils because it's itchy. I don't want that on stream. No, I don't want that on stream. I'm very self-conscious.
About itching your nose? Bro, if I have to pick my nose, I'm going to do it right on stream.
Oh, God. Please don't.
Guaranteed.
Please don't.
If it's got to happen, it's got to happen, man. I'm not going to be uncomfortable for an hour. No shot. Vermin, dude, it's not too much of a brag. I'm at the age that I should probably be there. You guys are all young. You got plenty of time to figure it out. Don't stress. Lone Wolf, are you tripling? Yes, that's what I was going to ask you. So you're coming to Twitch. I finally decided this morning what game I'm going to play on my stream.
What's that?
Today. I'm going to play Tunic today.
Oh, a 2-player game for us to both play. Nice one.
What? When we were gonna figure this out?
I'm just busting on you,
bro. We don't know Omri. I know their music, but we don't know them personally for sure. We don't. I know their music though, and I like their music, by the way. It is interesting to watch your favorite performers while not understanding. Oh my God, that's so crazy that you can't understand. You still listen. That's very kind of you. And greetings from Ukraine. So we just wanted to say, I hope that you are safe with everything that's going on over there. We are definitely, let's put it this way. We're on Ukraine's team in all of this, and we hope that you stay safe. We hope that you stay very safe, friend, and that you've been able to avoid as much of this horrible, horrible stuff as possible. For real. We hope you're doing well. What's up with a mountain-sized cheeseburger, though, is what I want to know. That has got my interest.
Hey, you remember that diner in Jersey? That if you
Clinton
Station diner, yeah. Go ahead. You want to say it?
Okay, so they have, first of all, there's a couple different tiers.
No, I thought that was just the $300 one.
No, there's a 4-man challenge that's like 10 pounds. Okay, so there's this cheeseburger, this diner that does these cheeseburgers that in New Jersey that like there's a 10-pound one that you get 4 people and you have to eat it in an hour. And then there's like a 30-pound one that you get 10 people and you have to eat it in an hour.
Insane. Yeah. And if you accomplish it, you get it
Yeah.
for free, right?
You get the burger for free, you get a t-shirt, and you get gastrointestinal
you get, you just shorten lifespan by 10%.
Yes. Yes, you get a t-shirt, you get it for free, and you get IBS
Ah,
included. No charge for the IBS at all. Lone Wolf, yes, this is the Everyday Oblivion hoodie. I have the Phantoms hoodie too, but it's in the wash right now. Arrakis, have we played Ultra Kill? I haven't played Ultra Kill.
I haven't played
heard of
either.
it.
I've heard of it too, yeah.
It actually was recommended to me on Steam, I think. One of the 19 launchers we have now, Epic or Steam or Origins or whatever.
Yeah, I have so many clients now.
Not the greatest. $300. Yeah, that's like what the big burger costs, Lone Wolf, if that's what you're talking about. Tundra, you have missed nothing. We just kind of started. We're starting in between 1 and 2 because there was some goof on our end about what time we were doing. So you're right on time, even though you're not, but somehow you are. Sometimes the universe just works in your favor, you know? Brawl, how do we meet? We've answered this question a lot, but we can go into it. We used to work at an electronics retailer together. One that doesn't
Great
exist
times.
anymore.
Great times.
And then another one that does exist. We used to work at a place called Circuit City, and that went out of business. And then we worked at a Best Buy together. And then we both got fired within like a week of each other.
Yep, that's extremely accurate. It was like one day you showed up and you weren't on the schedule. And then the next
Oh,
week,
dude.
next week
And
I
then
showed up. I wasn't on
and
the
then I-
schedule.
Yes. And then I blacked the fuck out because they fired me after I took a week vacation. You're fucking assholes. Anyway, excuse my language. Yeah, that's how we met. We worked together. And my little sister actually worked in the same department as Nick and was like,
Yeah.
you know, that dude over there plays guitar, right? Like you should holler at him. I know you want to start a band. So it was actually my little sister that told us that we should get up.
Yeah, she
start a band.
facilitated it. I think I was talking to her for a while about it because we weren't scheduled very often, like at the same time. I think you
Barely
closed, right? I think I opened.
Well, I was in
You're in
I was
college.
college, so yeah, I was like
I was a
going to
college
class in the
dropout,
morning,
so.
working at night. Yeah, you had already left. Hi Dorian. Yes, I'm extremely excited for Hades 2. I'm surprised that they made a second one so fast, but I'm really excited. I love the music in that game, the aesthetics, and I'm good for a dungeon crawler that lasts forever. So I'm hoping it doesn't wind up landing around the same time as Diablo because I'm gonna no life that shit.
Yeah, Diablo 4 cannot wait.
Dude, it's supposedly June.
Really?
The open beta is like the closed beta is like next month, and then it's like open beta 2 months after that. They're hoping to drop it in June.
Dude, you're gonna play for PC though, right?
Oh yeah, for sure, because I'm gonna put it on max settings.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for it. Diamond Girl, where do you get the inspiration for the cover art? So this is gonna maybe come as a surprise, but we really like to leave the cover art up to the person we hire to do the cover art. So we have a policy that, and I think some of this comes from my other job, and I think Nick, you get it a little bit from the jobs that you did work where you knew better than everybody else, but everyone tried to tell you what to do from time to time.
Yeah.
We're a big believer in if you hire an artist to do their art, that you should let them kind of have at it. So normally what I'll do is I'll give a little blurb about what I want, what the song is about, and I'll give them the lyrics, and I'll pick out a couple of things that I like, and then we kind of tell the artist like, have at it. Like you do your thing, do whatever you think is best. And we've had really good luck with it because we've worked with so many awesome artists, whether it was Way for the first long stint or Rupert for the last two things, and our friend Alec now, who's doing some of the stuff. We are super lucky to have really, really talented artists that we're working with on that stuff. So we're really, really happy with that. Arrakis, did you have a band before? We had three bands before Eight Graves.
One, two, three before Eight Graves. Yes.
Yeah, three before Eight Graves. So this is actually our fourth band. We were in a band called Cursed Atlantic, which was the worst band that you've ever heard. And by the way, you can't look up the music, so don't try. Then we were in a band called Vampire for Hire, which is like an emo rock band. And then that kind of transformed into a band called Love Automatic, which we basically made electronic dance music. And now we're here, where we're combining kind of everything into one amalgamation of music. Oh yeah, that's Alex's website. Koizumi, thank you, friend. Good to see you. Hope you're well. Chess, where did we get the name from? Chess, we've answered that question a lot. It's actually, there's a more concise answer to it in the frequently asked questions on our Discord, in our Discord channel. But quick explanation is I wanted to call the band Graves. There's already 15 bands called Graves. Nick had the idea of adding something to it, and I was like, well, eight kind of rhymes. Is like eight Graves, or it has that internal rhyme. I was like, that's cool. And then Nick was like, dude, it's kind of like, nine lives. Because like we were talking about, we've been in three other bands. We've had a lot of projects fail. So it's kind of like we've had nine musical lives and we have eight graves. Like this was our last chance to really make something work because we've been doing it for a long time.
Fair. What is the number now? Like 18 years?
18 years. 18 years. We've been making music together longer than probably some of you have been alive, which is
Accurate.
not great because I feel like I'm going to die kind of soon. What I want to do something with an instrument, but I don't have an instrument to play or money. Nico, remember, all day, every day, you walk around with an instrument and it's called your voice. And I get it with people a lot where they're like, well, I can't sing. Dude, nobody knows how to sing until you like try. I'm telling you. And maybe it's not, you're gonna not be a traditional singer. Maybe you're gonna be, maybe you're gonna do something cool and different with your voice, dude. Listen to like Bjork songs or Tom Waits, or there's so many people that have very original voices and find ways to do something with them. So I promise you, you can sing. And also, well, yeah, you got to practice it a lot, but you can learn and you can get better. That's why people take voice lessons, right? You can learn and you can get better. So if you don't have any money for an instrument, remember you always have one, and there's a lot of different ways to use it. But otherwise, and I think Nick can speak to this better than I can, you can get like a guitar that will play just fine for like no money.
Yeah, you can. I've had someone in your family probably has a guitar. You can just ask to borrow. It's probably collecting dust somewhere. I don't even care if it's a nylon guitar that's missing the last string or something's wrong with it. If you can put a couple notes together, just get on there. Just do it.
True.
It's fun. Just mess around, have fun, make sounds, and just take it from there.
Yeah, Nick, who was it? Was it like Fender or somebody that had like $100 like acoustic on like Amazon?
Yeah,
Like
Yamaha has them. Fender has them.
Yamaha.
They were at one point. I don't know about now, but they were. Yeah,
Yeah.
that
So you
$100,
can,
$200 range.
yeah, you can find something cheap. So, you know, and again, don't feel like, oh, like it's a crappy guitar. Dude, for all you know, you're gonna pick it up and you're not even gonna like it. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember the first ever guitar that I bought, I went out and I spent like $2,300. I had no idea what I was doing, and I never played it, and I gave it away
Oh,
to
that
somebody.
black Epiphone that you had.
Yeah, that I gave to Kevin. Peace. I mean, it what?
Oh, that
Dude,
Kevin. Right.
this is a funny story actually, guys. So we had a dude. Hi, Jackie. We had a dude who was in our band, and he was fine. Like he wasn't even that great, but I liked him. He became a friend. And at some point he came to me like crying. He was originally from like North Carolina or something. And he had a wife and he had a child at home, and he was like traveling with the band and all that stuff. Or I think he had a wife, but maybe not a child yet. But he was traveling with us and he was like living in New Jersey. And at some point he came to me, like broke down crying, and he was like, guys, like, I miss my wife. Like, I really just have to go home and be with her and like all this stuff.
Understandable, of course, yeah.
Yeah. And I was like, yeah, dude, go. And when we were traveling, he actually had his guitar stolen while we were playing a show. And he was going home and he had no guitar to go home with. And I was like, dude, you're a guitar player. You should have a guitar. So I want to give you mine. And I gave it to him and I said, the only thing is, you better not be taking this to go home and play in another band. Because if you're doing that, you should be honest with me about why you're quitting. If you're just leaving because you want to be in another band, that's fine, but just be honest. And he lied right to my face and said he was not going home to do that. And then like 2 weeks later, he had like press photos with a new band. And I was like, I'm gonna beat this kid's ass when I see him. But I never saw him, so it's okay.
And I never saw him again.
And lucky for him.
It happens. We were probably like 20 something years old.
Yeah, but he was older than us.
That doesn't mean shit.
He was like in his 30s. Like he was like 30 because I was like 25 at the time. I think he was like 30. I don't know. I wouldn't have done it. I should have beat his ass. But anyway.
And there you have it.
Lee, they make instruments and motorbikes. Yeah, how does that work? Like imagine like trying to get a loan to start that company. Do I remember the giant squirrels? Oh, Jacobo, that actually brings up another really funny, and this sucks because I'm going to tell this story and it's not going to be funny, but it's going to be really funny.
Wait, I don't know the giant squirrels. What is that?
Dude.
What?
Remember when we were in LA with Ross?
Oh.
And we lured that.
I probably have that video somewhere.
Dude, if you have that video,
we lured him in with like
peanuts.
Like they were like honey spicy peanut. He loved it. And then French fries too.
And then, well, no, he stole your French fries.
That's what it was.
Yes.
He gnawed right into the styrofoam and just started dragging big fries outside.
Dude, we were in a hotel room and in LA, and they had these giant red squirrels. And I really wanted to pet one. And Nick had taken some trash, and where we were staying, they were like, yo, you just leave your garbage outside the door, somebody will come and scoop it. So
that's right, that was their policy, right?
Yes. So we had the door open because we're in LA. The weather's like literally always perfect. And a squirrel was like going through Nick's garbage and eating these fries, which cannot be good for a squirrel. They're not good for humans.
Gigantic Los Angeles garbage squirrels love them, apparently.
So I was like, dude, I want to pet that squirrel. So we started putting like a trail of peanuts going like into our hotel room.
Bro, we were all posted up on the bed waiting to see what was going to happen.
So first we started like, 2, and he like came in and ate one.
And then he went back out. Yeah.
Run back outside. And then we put like 5. And he like ate one, he ate another, and he like ran back outside. Next thing I know, he's like all the way in our hotel room, and I'm like laying on the bed with my hand down.
Dude, you were like, no way, this squirrel is in here. I think Ross was like helping me do it too, right?
Yes.
Our old drummer. We lured him all the way into the bathroom.
Yes, and then he freaked the fuck out in the bathroom.
Dude, he was like jumping from floor to ceiling and running along the walls. Like you through the door, you just hear like all crazy in there.
It was like at one point he just realized like, what the fuck am I doing? He just freaked out and like started going ape shit in the bathroom and then like stormed out. We were I would like, oh my God.
It was so funny, dude.
It doesn't sound that funny, but that's when I was laughing so hard that I thought I hurt myself. That was one of the funniest things I ever saw in my life. It was so goddamn funny.
That's when we used the bathroom sink and filled it with ice and just stored Coronas in there, like beer in there.
Had beers in the bathroom sink at all times. You couldn't even use the bathroom.
You couldn't use the bathroom sink.
Brushing our teeth in the tub. Arrakis, don't apologize for asking too many questions. If you want to ask 100 questions, just fire them off.
It's a good question too. You want to answer that, Brent?
What do you guys do if you hit a roadblock and don't get the sound you want no matter what? Nick, that's actually probably a better question for you, right? You're like the sound guy.
Yeah, if it's from a production standpoint or even a songwriting standpoint, actually, um, a very concise way to explain that is not about you having a deficiency overall. Dwight actually said something to us at one point, and so he said, "Sometimes what you love isn't what you're good at." So you might be trying to make music that you love to listen to, but you might be better and more apt to making some other type of music. And the only way you're really going to know is if you try to go outside your box. So like if you're reaching for, you know, the same instrument or the same key or the same words or the same, just try to switch it up, like if you normally write dubstep, write a country song. If you normally write country, try a hip hop song. Just go wide. And where you'll find is that, exactly, go outside your comfort zone. What you'll find is that where you land is more based on your instincts than you think. So you're not going to sound like Britney Spears or Metallica or, any of these artists that you might be, drawing inspiration from. It's going to be you. So that's a good way to think about your approach and to get out of your comfort zone.
100%. And I think another important part of that question is you're saying you don't get the sound you want. Sometimes the right sound is not necessarily the one you want to push in there, right? Like we ask ourselves a lot, and we used to, you guys are familiar with our older music, right? There became a point where we just were like, well, we got to make that, we got to make that. And it just wasn't what we wanted anymore. And we wanted to make that music, but we just couldn't, right? It was like
We had three records like that. Yeah.
yeah, it was this like push and pull of like, what do we want versus what should we do? Sometimes the sound, what we always try to ask ourselves is, what does the song need, right? So don't think about trying to squeeze the sound you want in there. Think about what will work. What does the song want? And what the song wants is always way more important than what we want. Because you can't force a square peg in a round hole, right?
No,
So
exactly. And
you
it's
really
it's not
gotta,
perfect. Not a perfect process. I mean,
no.
just because you try something different doesn't mean you're instantly better. I mean, the other thing is keep writing songs. Keep writing songs. And there's a lot of theories on that. If you start an idea, finish it. I heard other people say just start a bunch of ideas and come back to it later. It depends on like if you're writing for yourself or you're collaborating. But really, ultimately, what it is if you're constantly going left, try and go right. And that's it,
And also get away from the idea that there is a right sound. For anything that you're
Right.
gonna
What's the
do,
convo in your head, basically, about what's going on? Yeah.
yeah, and for anything you're gonna do, realistically, there's as many sounds in the world as there are stars in the sky. So realistically, there's not one correct answer. Don't think of it like following a cooking recipe where it's like you put the salt, you put the pepper, you put the garlic, you put the oil in the pan, you put the garlic in the oil, you put right like don't think of it like that. Sometimes there's many different answers, and just whichever one feels right at that time, that's the one you should use because all that really matters at the end of the day is if it feels good. And if down the road you look back on a song and you're like, it doesn't feel good to me anymore, it's like, that's okay because you can now make another song that feels good to you
Exactly.
now.
Yep.
No song you make is going to feel good to you forever. And I think that was an important part of what we had to come to also is, you have to.
But it oscillates too. I mean, it could be exactly what you want at the time, and then there's a departure from it, and then you arrive back in a place where maybe you appreciate it in a different way. It just changed. I mean, just like how human nature is. One song that you write today isn't going to be a song that you're going to write tomorrow because 24 hours has passed. You've had thoughts, experiences, or the lack of experiences, and that's changes all the time.
For sure.
Yeah.
Diamond Girl, how did we connect with Aviva? We connected with Aviva through the internet. Literally just shot her a message. I think, well, really, I guess in retrospect, shot Mateus a message. But Mateus and Aviva have become close friends of ours. We would definitely collaborate with them again, given the opportunity. They are extremely busy and they plan way far ahead. I mean, they're like talking about they got their songs done for like 3 times as long as us. So if we could make it work, we would certainly love to. Jacoba, any art that you make, especially if it's a Deftones or a Prodigy poster, please send it because those are arguably my and Nick's favorite bands.
100%. Always got a soft spot in my heart for them.
Always. Cass asks, any plans for a tour? Cass, we are. I was just talking to my coworker about this yesterday. Touring at this point in the music industry is somewhat of a small nightmare. You guys are all familiar with Live Nation. If you've ever gone to a concert, you've definitely seen, their name on tickets and ad mats and stuff. Live Nation controls almost all the venues. So what it used to be like is if we wanted to do a tour, we could DIY it by calling venues and being like, hey, we'd really love to play there. Would you have us? And now if you call a venue and you're like, hey, we'd really love to play there. Would you have us? They'll be like, oh, contact Live Nation because they handle all of our booking. Bars and venues used to have a booking person that you could contact directly, and they handled the shows for that venue. And now it's not like that. So we're trying desperately all the time to find our ways onto tours, onto shows. The other compounding factor is COVID. COVID shut down shows for literally like a year and a half. So the shows and tours that are happening right now were mostly booked in 2020 and 2021. Everything is really backed up. So and then of course you have, inflation and the rising costs. So everything is like a really tricky puzzle to figure out right now. But I promise we are always trying to find ways to play shows. A, because we want to meet you guys. And B, because selfishly, it feels really, really good to be on stage playing your music for people.
Playing music is absolutely the most addicting drug in the entire universe.
Dude, especially
I've never done cocaine. I've never done any hardcore drugs ever. But
Me neither.
I would say, what is it? What's the highest class? Class A? Class 1? What are they called?
I don't know. Schedule 1.
Schedule 1, yeah.
So we're trying all the time. We love to do it, and we hope that we will be able to more often as we get there. What's your personal favorite song you've ever made, Aurora? Unfortunately, both of the songs that we picked the other day when we had this question are not out yet. So you're gonna meet our personal favorites coming up in a couple months here over the course of the next couple months. So they're yet to come, but they're on the way. We promise.
Yep. If I were to pick one that we've released now, the latest favorite I would say is probably Ghost. Yeah.
Yeah, I would say maybe Ghost or maybe Tuning Out. I really love Tuning Out. I love that song.
It's dope. It's probably my favorite song to play live, I would say.
I think we were talking about this the other day. I think that creeps in because when we play that song live, I'm like so hyped for it. It just is so much fun, dude. Oh, that chorus with Jordan, just like so good. Anyway, how am I gonna our sounds country from them? How very good advice I have found that your art has country from another style. Yes, that's a very good. I think that's a good thing to take away, Diamond. Somebody else's art style. Emulation is a good tool for learning, but it's not. It ain't a long-term plan for creating. Right? You can copy something to learn how they do it, but doing it long-term ain't gonna.
Yeah, it's not bountiful. It's it has to come from within. You got to start learning tricks for yourself. That there's got to be an approach. There's got to be things that you reach for, and that's where it becomes like the genesis becomes a little easier.
Yeah. Steven, are we in the self-deprecating era? Excuse me. We never left. We always have been.
That statement was self-deprecating.
And Arrakis, you're very welcome, friend. Don't worry. Ryan, collab with Missio. We would love to, man. Those are our homies. I was just talking to Matt yesterday about some goofy Twitter nonsense. They're great dudes. They're just so nice. And, David's quiet. I feel like often he comes off as quiet, but the couple times I hung with him, he's just such a nice dude. So warm
warm guy. Warm guy.
Yeah, they're really, really great dudes. So we would really, truly love to do a song with them at some point if it works out. And Vermin, yes, that's pretty much the gist of it. So one company controls almost all the venues. That's Live Nation. The venues that aren't controlled by Live Nation are controlled by AEG Live. And by the way, Live Nation is the same company as Ticketmaster. They're owned by the same dude, this dude Irving Azoff. And the way that they do it is they go to venues and they say, "You like selling tickets on Ticketmaster, right? Well, if you want to do that, you have to be a Live Nation exclusive venue." So they use their ticket selling capability to strong arm their way into controlling venues, which is dog and horrible for music. But here we are.
I just want to actually answer Vermin's other question. He said, "You guys plan on making physical albums?" We have our first EP that was printed onto vinyl. Excuse me. That's at merch.eatgraves.com. I linked it in the chat. It's also pinned at the top. And this record that we wrote for this year, it's our first full-length record, which is also going to be pressed on vinyl. Those should be ready for pre-order or sale in the coming months, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And Moonlight, we were really close to being able to play in your home space.
Yep.
Just like timing worked out really bad with the war and everything escalating. So it just kind of didn't work out. But hopefully one day, because we have a surprisingly large amount of people listening to us over in Russia. So hopefully one day stuff calms back down and everybody's safe, and then we can kind of find our way over there. And more importantly, I hope that stuff ends soon, because it's just gross to see people have to go through wars. Wars shouldn't really happen anymore, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Jeff Eth says, "Love your song. Been following us since we've only had 100 followers." That's amazing.
What?
And their favorite song is Ghosts. They've been around for a while. Just want to say thank you for that. That's amazing.
That's cool. That's cool. Jack, everyone's been commenting why on YouTube, and I've just been laughing the whole time. Everyone's just like, "Why?" in all caps.
Is that from the pre-release?
So
right.
Yeah. So everybody on YouTube is like just commenting it. It's so funny. Yeah, Arrakis, we would love to get all over. We were actually supposed to be not in Florida, but in the Southeast in April, but I don't think it worked out. Again, we have these near misses with touring and playing shows where we're like, we have something lined up and it's probably going to work out, and then it kind of doesn't. There's a lot of that going around, but I promise we're trying. It's just really, really hard. Not like how it used to be. Error. Who inspired you to do music? For me, I had two things. For me, the first reason I really got into making music was because I kind of grew up in a situation where I didn't have like a lot of attention paid to me. I like really felt ignored a lot, and I felt like I kind of didn't have a voice. And me writing and creating music was a way that I could kind of like express myself. So I started when I was pretty young. I dove into it pretty young just because I think it was like a coping mechanism for me. And then when I got into middle school, I had a band teacher, believe it or not, who was just awesome. In fact, we're still in touch today. I actually did a tattoo on him last year.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. That's great.
Yeah. My band teacher, Mr. Wallach, he's an amazing person. And he saw that I was, back then it was playing instruments. I was a saxophone player, as nerdy as that sounds. And I used to absolutely crush the sax, dude. I was a sax daddy, dude. I smacked
sax daddy.
Dude, I was super good. And he really put a lot of energy and effort into kind of nourishing that. And I didn't have a lot of people in my family and in my life that encouraged me to do music and be creative. And he was like all about it and really pushed me and really helped me and advocated for me. And he really helped me dive into it kind of head first, How about you, Nick?
Music really was, I grew up with musicians in my family, and my father, he would write songs while we were hanging out in the living room and stuff on his little acoustic. So I kind of just grew up with like having a guitar within reach was like a pretty normal thing. I had little keyboards and stuff. And I grew up in the 80s and 90s. So I think like little keyboards like that were pretty common in households. Like that was a pretty consumer end thing.
I have one.
It was like that. And then, yeah, I mean, the short version of it is I was a nefarious little middle schooler hacker back in the day on America Online. And I used to create a little software that would
America
do
Online.
bad things. And, but I say bad things like kick people offline and stuff, just like to troll. And,
Hunters.
one of the cool things that people used to do is they would tag their software to have like cool art with your handle and like some music playing. And one day I was like, well, how do they get music? Like, what if I wanted my own music that no one else had? Like, how do you make your own music? And that's kind of like when a light bulb went off. Was like, I know people use microphones and stuff, but like, how do you just like use your computer? So I went on hotbot.com or askjeeves.com, something like that. Looked up music making software and downloaded a copy of it's now FL Studio, but back then it was called Fruity Loops. And I completely stopped programming and doing the hacking thing and just completely focused on making music. I was like, I love techno music. This is amazing. So I haven't stopped since. And that's really it. Just all about discovery and sound design.
Nick also, his dad is a very talented musician too. So his dad is a really good bass player. And whenever we were like hanging out when Nick still lived with his father, we'd like hang out there making music and stuff, and you just hear from the basement just like
All day, dude. And he was down there
yeah,
just loving his life,
just jamming, dude.
just
Your dad
playing
rules.
like 8 days a week by the Beatles or
Yeah,
that kind of
yeah,
stuff.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah, he's awesome. And Paulina, hi. Thanks for joining us, friend. Good to see you. Um, Diamond, we hope we make it to Chattanooga too. And Steven, if we ever come to where you are, fire up the grill, my friend. Um, Truth. See, this is the thing. You say most artists can't really do it, but please consider coming to Turkey. We wouldn't have to consider it. Anywhere that we could go, we would love to because, part of like you, and we hope you wouldn't drown, but the part of like playing music is you think about all the possibilities of like where it can take you. And for us, um, you know, that was like a big part of it for me is like, wow, maybe we'll get to travel. And luckily we've gotten to go to a lot of places that I probably wouldn't have made it to without music. So we're very, very, lucky to have done that. Very fortunate. Five Striker, what inspired us to make Cold World? Take a look around. I'm just going to make that answer really short and say capitalism. Um, and hi, Randy. Good to see you. And yes, band teachers rule. All band teachers, art teachers, and let's be serious, all teachers are great, and we have a large appreciation for them. I played tenor for my main sax, and then I started on alto. Then tenor was the main one I played. I played that for the longest, and I actually ended playing baritone saxophone, which is awesome. It's super deep and bassy.
That thing's
Sounds
awesome.
rad. Oh, I love those things. They're so cool. I am afraid I would suck now because I haven't played one in a very long time. But it's funny. I can still picture songs I played, and it's almost muscle memory. I remember, like, if I pick one up and I play around with the fingerings, I can remember solos I used to play. Just muscle memory because I used to rehearse a ton, dude. I was like super, super into it. Um,
I forgot about that. I remember saxophone was a little bit more fresh to you when we first met, I think.
yeah,
Wasn't it?
I had one still, and I used to actually pick it up and play it. And then my mother sold my saxophone without telling me because thanks, mom.
Well, you never use
Um,
it. Why wouldn't I
yeah,
sell it?
well, you know, yeah, because I try to play it and you scream at me for making noise, but that's another story. Here I am, a 40-year-old man complaining about my mom. Anyway, no, Stax daddies never have. Well, so funny thing, Steven, I actually was able to do okay with girls, even though I was a saxophone player, believe it or not. Ryan,
You had
do
that
you work?
Riz back then, dude.
Dude, I was young, I was handsome. Now I'm like old. Ryan, do you work out? Yes. Nicholas works out like an animal now.
I do. Yeah, that's about 3, 4 times a week. Spent
Yeah.
about an hour and a half at the gym.
So Nick he's naturally always been a little thinner, so he lifts to put on weight, and I've always naturally been a little thicker, and I like do a lot of cardio to try to slim down. And hopefully one day you'll be able to stand Nick and I in front of each other and we'll be the same shape.
Pretty much, yeah. The amount of protein that I have to consume is nauseating, but you got to do it.
Simon, that Hacker Man thing. What's that YouTube video with Hacker Man? That thing's awesome. I forget what it is. It's like a really crazy 80s looking thing.
Oh, you're talking about Kung Fury?
Yes, Kung Fury. Thank
Yeah,
you.
I think it was great.
Oh, so good.
It's like one guy directed and started it in like one room with a green screen. Everything was green screened.
Dude, it's so good.
That's really
that
good,
thing
yeah.
is awesome. Everyone should look up that YouTube video, Kung Fury. I think it's like all age appropriate, right? It's not like screwed up.
Yo, what's up, Sassin?
Yeah,
My
Simon.
boy
Mahoo.
Simon. Actually, I want to say shout out to Paulina as well. I saw her up there. Hey,
Yeah,
Paulina,
yeah,
how's it going?
I said hi too. Don't worry.
Oh, you did?
We
Okay,
would
cool.
never yeah, we would never miss her. She's the best. Hi, Alex. Thanks, Zandra, for joining us. I'm happy you could make it. Thank you for joining us. I'm just trying to get caught up. I was like hanging out up top for a long time. What are your favorite songs off each EP? Oh God, I can't even name all of our EPs except for the color ones because those are easy.
What's up, Mike? How's it going? Jerk Skellington.
Oh, hi, Mike. Um, I would never be able to pick a song off of each one, Jacob. I'd be like too. I don't know. It's like picking your favorite child. Or if you had two dogs, well, I shouldn't say that. If you had two dogs, you probably have a favorite because they're always,
Oh no.
when you get two dogs, you always have one that's like kind of silly. Um, Arrakis, if I could move to any European country with all expenses paid, where would you go? That's a good question. Do you have an answer to that, Nick?
Would I move to a European country? It depends on which one.
Well, he asked, which one would you move to? Or they asked, excuse me. I don't want to assume anybody here. Um, if you could move to any European country with all expenses paid, where would you go?
Maybe Portugal.
Ah, join your people.
Yeah, sounds nice. Something coastal.
Portugal is really actually when my sister was still dating her ex, they went to Portugal together and she says it's absolutely awesome. And I have a couple of clients at work that are from Portugal and they go like every year and they say it's just awesome.
That's great. Well, there you go. That might be my answer then.
Yeah, I would think maybe Switzerland because it looks like Lord of the Rings and I'm into that. But Ireland would be up there for me too. I just get worried about the cold. Like although I'm training, oh, I didn't tell you, I'm training my body for the cold.
Are you doing the Wim Hof method?
I'm doing that.
Wow.
And I'm doing like cold exposure. Guys, this is really weird. Okay. So so I have like a thing when it's really cold outside, and by really cold I mean like 25, that like all my muscles get super tight and I'm like, "Ugh!" And then my back will hurt and uh yeah, it's just not good. So I'm trying to like make myself not hate the cold as much. So I'm working on it. Um so I've been like trying to like go outside in lighter clothing and like not turn the heat on as much. I'm doing all this stuff. Um Xandra, yes, all the time I fall asleep in this chair because I don't like to go to bed until I'm asleep. I'm glad to hear Switzerland's not that cold. I just think of like the Alps and stuff, and I'm like, ooh, it's snowy there. And Lone Wolf, you know what I mean? Do you ever look up videos of Switzerland and all the houses are like there's just so much green everywhere around all the houses? And maybe that's just because I'm watching like YouTube videos and like Instagram videos, and it's not a real interpretation. But again, I'm an ignorant American that's never been to Europe, so I have these like fantasy preconceived notions about countries that could be completely wrong. But that's always what I see. Oh God, New Zealand. That's actually where they shot. Isn't New Zealand where they shot Lord of the Rings?
It was, I think so. Yeah. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they have like you can do like the whole trail. I think like you can walk the thing where they walked and stuff. That's a good point. Lone Wolf, that's a very, very good point. And where I'm a big Lord of the Rings fan, but I'm not like a crazy person. Oh my God, I didn't tell you about this, Nick.
What?
They have this show in England that's called like Ask the Expert or something. I forget what it's called. I have to look it up and send you a video. I saw it
Okay.
on TikTok and then I looked it up. And it's like a game show and you can pick any topic. And they'll ask you like 100 questions about that topic and you get like 3 strikes or something and you have to get them all right.
100 questions?
And you have to get,
So just
like 3
prove
strikes.
on air that you are an expert on a topic?
Yes, and they rapid fire the questions like, what color is a banana? Yellow. Okay, and what color is an apple? Red. Okay, and what color? Like,
And what topic is that? Produce?
you could pick. You could pick whatever.
I'm not. I was just
My
making
top-
the joke.
And sir, what is the topic you chose?
Fruits.
Fruits and vegetables.
I choose fruits.
Yeah, but this young woman that went on it was a Lord of the Rings expert, and dude, I was like,
She knew everything, huh?
no, like when Merry and Pippin stopped to have lunch on the riverbed, what river were they next to? And she's like, the Merrimack. And you're like, what the? How do you know that?
That's
A, how do you know
crazy.
what they're talking about? And B, dude, like so crazy. So crazy. Brawl, what do we think of Unlike Pluto's current songs? This is an important question to me. Because A, Pluto having the ability to still put out songs at the rate that they can is something I can't really comprehend. I don't get it. And B, what I really like about what's going on with his songs is it makes me feel better about us switching things up and trying whatever we want, right? Because Pluto always does something different, always. And I love that he's unapologetic about it, that he just doesn't care, right? He's just like, I'm gonna make a song, it's gonna come out, and that's what it's gonna be. So I love most of his songs. I mean, some more than others, obviously, and he puts out so many songs. I think it's okay to say 1 or 2 gets past me, but I love everything that dude does, and beyond that, just a really good person. So if
Yeah,
he was making,
he's a good guy. It was awesome
Yeah.
meeting him when we did.
yeah, he's just awesome. We had a good time hanging with him and got good coffee,
Great coffee.
really good coffee. But I if that dude was making songs that were the weird, the recorder version, like the shitty recorder version of My Heart Will Go On. If that was like every one of his songs sounded like that, I'd still be praying and pulling for Pluto to crush it because he's just such a really, really good person.
Absolutely. Oh, McKimmister. Loving the new song. Huge fan since 2019. You guys helped me a lot going through some very tough times. Greetings from Germany. Greetings from the United States. Thank you so much for listening to us. We're so glad that our songs were able to connect with you. And really, that's what it's all about, you know? 2 friends making music and having other people connect to it.
Yeah, that makes it all worth it. Like even if we never made $1, if we helped a couple people, that's really huge. So really super happy this songs could be there for you, friend. That's always a pleasure to hear, seriously.
Thank you again.
Ghost, we just answered that question. You just missed it, Ghost G, but it is, I know you're in Discord too. It's in the frequently asked questions section of our Discord.
And maybe if Hammy is available, he can link us to the FAQ there.
Perhaps.
I know you said he was a little tired.
Yeah. Otherwise, you dig around, you'll find it. And don't subscribe. Will you ever collaborate with Pluto again? We would love to. Again, an underrated complication of collaboration is nowadays in the music world, you're supposed to put out a new song like every month. When we were young, it used to be a band would put out like a 10-song record every 2.5 years. And I was like, okay, you know, that was what we expected. If you really liked the band, you'd see new music from them. And it's not like they put out singles along the way either. The way it used to work was they put out one single about a month to 2 months before their record was going to drop to, drum up excitement about their record. And then they dropped their record. And you get the 10 songs. Maybe you heard one song or two songs off of it, and that would really be it. Now, you're supposed to put out a song every month, like every 5 weeks.
It's just the nature of the algorithm, yeah.
Yeah, because that's exactly it. Nick brought up a great point. You're trying to feed these algorithms of these DSPs of Spotify and whatever else. Everything is about feeding an algorithm now, which is, I hate it, to put it lightly. That being said, we all have to plan our releases like way in advance. Like you're planning your release, like we have all of our releases for the year slated, and we had that going back to what, like November, Nick?
Yep.
So, then you're hitting somebody up and like, hey, you want to do a song together? They're like, sure, we got an opening in 2024. Like it's really tricky to work it out. So, and especially with somebody like Pluto, who's putting out a new song every 30 seconds. Really
Yeah, he's
tricky.
like once a week, right?
So he took a little break because, he just works himself to death, and his voice was having trouble for that little bit there. He took a little bit of rest there, and then I think he took some time off at the beginning of the year, but he's still going super hard all the time.
Nutty. Good for him.
Yeah. And Jacobo, will we ever do a single like Bad Faith? Anything is possible because, like we said, what comes out comes out. It doesn't seem likely at this point, but anything is possible. Kevin, have I ever played the God of War series? Yeah, I've played all of them, and I played Ragnarok recently, and it is brilliant. If anybody's on the fence about playing Ragnarok, play it. It's so good. Ugh, so good. Real tears at the end of that game.
That's awesome.
Oh, I cried like a little baby. Yeah, Simon, Pluto would put out a song every Friday for like 3 years at one point. 3 years straight, a song every Friday. Just crazy. Well, and Cass, that's another reason that physical albums get weird, right? Because you're putting out music so often, it's like you'd be pressing vinyl like return on vinyl. When we did the Everyday Oblivion EP was 18 months. Now it's down to, what did they say, Nick, for the turnaround on vinyl now?
It's like between 2.5 to 3.5 months. Really quick now.
Cool. So, 4 months tops, right? So now you can do that, but still you'd have to like be putting out songs and planning 4 months ahead for when the vinyl's going to arrive. And then it just becomes like a tricky thing to work out all the time. And if you're with a label, they work all that stuff out for you. You don't have to worry about it. But with us, we'd be like constantly ordering and checking supply levels. And it's just more than I want to think about, it's a lot. Bro, that's crazy. 80 songs. I can't even. I can't even. Yeah, Kevin, I think it was like 3 years. So he was crushing it. Cass, yeah, we're definitely gonna. I don't know if we have any more of the Everyday Oblivion ones signed. We did have them. I'm not sure if they're still there.
And the posters too.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're still there. But we're definitely gonna do for this record that we're putting out now that we haven't told you the title of yet, so I have to, refer to it secretly. We're definitely going to do some autograph copies. I should just say signed because I don't think anyone cares about our autographs. Some signed copies, and we're definitely going to do some giveaways and all that stuff. So that will definitely work out. And Jacobo, we would like to do some covers too. It's just about the time, man. Everything having to go so hard on releases all the time makes it really tricky to do extra stuff. And again, Nick and I were talking about this the other day. For as much time as we spend working on music, writing and all that stuff, that's probably half of the time we spend working, Nick.
The song creation process, you think takes about 50% of our time towards 8 grade, is what you're saying?
Yeah.
I think songwriting takes less than that.
Yeah, maybe, right? I'm trying to give it like the benefit, but maybe making music
Well, our
whenever
process has changed. We don't have to spend that much time to create a record.
that's
We
true.
had to do that to be able to survive on our own in this industry, because the rest of the time is, you know, chasing your income basically, and making sure your affairs are in order, planning releases, working with third-party individuals that help you, create your art or create your merch. Thinking of ideas and new ways to connect with your audience, because the window to connect to people with the algorithm is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. Ads don't work even though they say it does. So it's constantly talking about like, you know, it's like we have and this is just, just me just like talking about it, from a high level, but like we have a website that has everything you need on it, right? But no one knows we have any of that stuff. And you can do posting and live streams and Twitch and shorts and reels and TikToks. And this is not a slight at anybody else. It's the information not getting to the individuals that it exists. Like, do we have vinyls? Like that kind of stuff. And I love letting people know that we have them, but it's thinking about ways on how we can do that, as a blanket statement, because we have people 102,000 YouTube subscribers, right? Maybe a little over that. And, getting to those people to let them know that that stuff exists is very difficult, because that's just the nature of it. So a lot of our time is spent managing our ability to connect with people, like, and pierce through the algorithm, essentially, if that makes sense.
100%. I mean, think of it, right? Like we have, between 40 and 50 people in here, and we have 102,000 subscribers. How much of that is because people didn't know? And we'll see that all the time. People will be like, "Oh, I didn't know," and it's like, man. So
They just don't let it get to their audience, because the thing is the only way that these sites will make money is if they keep their audience's attention, that their user base's attention, and that is done by us creating content for them. And then that content we create has a algorithmic chance to get to your audience. I honestly, I mean, I could understand not getting in front of new people, right, to a degree, but our own fan base, like that's pretty rough, to be able to not get into that. So what we're helping with is that if we stay more regular with our presence online, it's going to open up the door that, more and more folks will understand that, like, there's something going on. There's a release every month, and there's all this fun stuff that we do along with it. And no one has the answer. No one knows how it's going to work. And we're just two guys doing it by ourselves, up against the machine. So
even trying to get people to listen on Spotify, right? So it used to be if you followed a band on Spotify, when their song came out, when you open your Spotify, it would be like, "Hey, this band that you follow put out new music." And immediately Spotify was like, "Oh, we can monetize that." So they took that away and they created something called Marquee. And now, if you want that little pop-up to come up, if you ever see that, a band paid for that. They call it Marquee, and it's 25 cents a view, right?
55 cents.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it's 55 cents. It depends on the data set that you connect to. I was looking at it. It's a very expensive, and I hate using these terms because I don't want to talk about people who enjoy music as if they need to be converted. But there's a term called conversion, where can you convert someone who's using an app, is floating in a sea of infinite music that's like what is it, 1.2 million artists are currently on, the big green dot. And, it's like, they're like, oh, well, if you want access to our user base.
Access to the people that already chose to follow you.
Correct. Right. Yeah.
We have 116,000. Oh, thank you, Cass.
Oh, that's super nice of you. Thank you so much. That's amazing.
So if we wanted to reach all of like the 110,000 people on our Spotify, we'd have to spend, to let them know we put out new music, we'd have to spend $50,000 roughly. It's a good business plan.
Right.
Even though they've already chosen to follow us, but you know, there we go. Diamond, what would you do if you got burned out with music? I don't think I'll ever get burned out with music. Nick and I are pretty good about like when we feel burned out, we just allow each other space. We're very considerate of each other's like mental well-being, and
Yes.
I mean, at the end of the day, we're it's just us. So there's nobody putting any pressure on us but ourselves. Um, and doing stuff like this, you know, just to tie into Ghost Cheese. Feel like I'm calling you Ghost Cheese, but Ghost Cheese says you don't hurt. You know, you hope you don't burn out with the internet presence stuff. We definitely take it easy. You know, people tell you you're supposed to put 4 TikToks up a day. We put up like one a week, you know, if that. So we're not doing any more than like what we want to do.
Yeah.
And it will
You know,
always be
and
that
people
way.
people will say like, well, this is what it is today. This is what you have to do.
You're missing an opportunity.
But what I believe happens is that the only types of, not that these artists are less or more than other artists, but the only type of artists that you're gonna be aware of are the ones that thrive on that type of presence. You know, the ones that are like, yeah, I'll do 1 million videos a week, you know, and that's like in their blood, and it comes naturally to them. Or, you know, there are artists that it doesn't come naturally to, and they have to kind of struggle through that. So it adds to another layer of struggle and complexity to things. Now, this is not me complaining. It's just what it is. And we do our best to work within those bounds and understanding like, you know, where the gaps are and like where we can fit in and what's going to be, you know, best for us and our brains. So I think we've achieved a happier medium with all of that, you know, considering.
I look at musicians who, and again, this is just my own thing. This is nothing against anyone that does any of these things. But like there's some musicians you go on their like TikTok page, for instance, and it's literally just 100 videos like and I'm like, what the hell is it? Like, okay, so you do that 4 times a day. Like that is good for your music career. And then you go on their Instagram and it just, I'm like, what are we doing? Like, what are we doing? Like, and if that's what I need to do to like be good at music, then I personally would not be comfortable with that. So again, no shade to anybody that enjoys those things, or that are just naturally comfortable doing those things, but couldn't be me. Just couldn't. Skipman, we love you too. Thanks for hanging out, friend. And Cass, I saw earlier you said your birthday was yesterday, so happy belated birthday. But yeah, I just don't want to make like a whole nother job. Like for me, we make music because we like making music. And I'm not particularly interested in being a model. I'm not particularly interested in being an influencer. I'm not particularly interested in being a you know, internet personality. I just kind of like making music. Weird. That's why I got into being in a band. And I prefer to kind of do that. So yeah. If you guys have any last minute questions, dig them in. We're coming up on 2:30 here. Oh, wait, we had another birthday? What did I miss? Today's your birthday, Black Grouse.
Happy birthday.
Birthday. I missed that. I'm so sorry. Happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. And Max, we talked about this a little earlier. We're trying constantly to find tours. I swear to God. It is one of the more frustrating things because when we were young, it wasn't that hard to just book something yourself. But unfortunately, for a couple reasons, you can go back in the video a little bit. We talked about this early on, about some of the complexities. It's a little trickier now than it used to be. Don't subscribe. Yes, of course. If you want to make a shirt for yourself or something, we get it. go for it. We love that. In fact, a show that we played in New York pretty early on, there was a young woman who came all the way from like the Midwest to New York, and she had made her own bleach tie-dye situation,
It
and
was
it
super
was
dope.
awesome.
It was really good.
And we were super, super grateful for that. We were like blown away, bro. Little tear to my eye.
Yeah, that was a nice moment.
Yeah, it really was. Simon, you know how I feel about this. We've had these conversations about the social media situation. I just think it's like a little silly, for lack of a better word.
It's pretty silly.
A little silly, but you know. I think we got like oh wait, got one. Have any of y'all received? Yes, we did get our silver play buttons. We and Nick was like, no, we don't have to get two because they only send you one and then you have to pay if you want another one, even no matter how many people are involved. And Nick was like, well, I don't want to spend the money, and I was like, you're getting one, dude. Kind of like Nick deserves to have one as well. So I made sure he went and got one.
It's very reflective, but here you go.
Oh, there we go. Oh man, you saw our OBS setup now.
I can't get the reflection to be right. There you go.
I mean, I think it was like $80. But you know, you put in all that work. I'm like, if it was $300, I would have made sure Nick got one. So we definitely.
So yeah, thank you all for subscribing.
Yeah.
Would not have been possible without you. It was a really cool achievement. Never thought that would happen.
No, I think Jacobus said it earlier. He started following us when we had like 300 subscribers.
Yeah, because we aren't YouTubers, so to speak. You know, we're not like the Mr. Beasts of the world. We're just putting out music and hanging out with you guys. So that's really awesome.
Unfortunately, we're not Mr. Beast because then we'd have like $200 million.
Yeah, he's a beast for sure.
Be curing people's blindness. What a legend. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we're at about 2:30. So I think it's time to say goodbye for now. Remember, if you want to still hang out, we will be, I will be, and maybe next time Nick will be also on Twitch. So in about an hour and a half, you can catch me on Twitch. I'm going to be playing one of my favorite games I've discovered in the past couple years here. It's called Tunic.
Can I ask you about Tunic real quick? What's your approach this time? Are you trying to go for 100% or what?
I mean, I always go.
Okay, cool.
100%.
So is there anything new for you to experience in the game, or do you just like to relive it?
When I play, fun fact about the way that I play video games, when I was young, and Nick has heard this story 10 times, but when I was young, we didn't have very much money. And so I would save up a bunch of money, and then I would buy a game. And I knew I wasn't going to get another game for months. So I would play that game until I memorized it like the back of my hand. There is still games. It was so funny. I was playing this game called Karnov for regular Nintendo, for the NES. And
was that Tengen? Or was that an NES official?
I don't even know who makes it.
Okay.
But, you're like kind of like a fat yellow dude with red pants and you shoot fireballs out of your mouth.
Sick.
It's pretty sick. But the game is set up so that if like this is the screen, like if you jump and wiggle here, a power-up will spawn. Like it has those like area triggered power-ups that are hidden.
Okay.
And I was playing it and I was like, oh yeah, if I jump and wiggle here, there's a fireball that'll spawn. Because you can get like extra fireballs and then you go from shooting one fireball to 2 to 3. And I remember like every single little thing because I used to just play games until I just
you got all the juice out of that.
Oh,
all the juice, all the squeeze for your juice for your squeeze.
Taking the lemon and just squeezing it into powder. Just so that's how I play games. So when I play Tunic, I don't know if I'm going to remember everything off the top of my head because I haven't played it for a couple months, and I only played through it once. It's not like how it used to be where I used to play one game for 3 months straight and not play anything else. Now I play a game until I beat it, and then I stop playing it. Like I got platinum in Elden Ring, never picked it up again. You know.
That's awesome.
Dave, thank you. I'm glad somebody knows Karnov. That game is kind of dope, man.
Triwave.
Of course, Triwave would know. So yeah. And Alex, thank you for continuing to play our music for people. We appreciate it. We really, really do. So yeah, so if you want to hang out with me on Twitch, I'll be on in a little less than an hour and a half. I hope to see you guys there. And other than that, thank you for all the love and support on Good Time. You guys are awesome. We're super happy to be spending a little bit more time hanging out with you guys in this cycle. It's been really great. And we're going to continue doing it. And we can't wait to see you again soon. And hopefully I'll see, like I said, some of you in a little bit here on Twitch, okay? We love you guys. You guys are awesome. Thank you, Moonlight. You guys, thank you, Truth. You guys are awesome. Thank you for spending some of your day with us. Go enjoy the rest of your weekend. Do something fun, please. Okay?
See you at the next pre-release as well.
Yeah, a couple weeks. Not that long at all. So we'll see you soon.
See you guys. Love you.
Later. Love you.
Never been the type to stay with. Tell myself that it's alright. Not the one you spend your day with. But you can see me Friday.
Did I forget F's in chat? Did I forget F's in chat? We're going to need some F's in chat. Let's get those F's in chat. Let's do it. Thank you for reminding me. I'm not leaving until I see the F's in chat. There we go. All right, bye. Love you.
Never been the type to stay with. Tell myself that it's alright. Not the one you spend your day with. But you can see me Friday night. Understand I'm not your favorite. I'm not even sure I'm mine. But I'll be your entertainment. Anything you want, that's fine. I'll be down to ride, swallowing my pride. Trust me, I don't mind at all. That I'm ugly, that I'm not that popular. Would you love me? 'Cause I'm a good timer, a good time. So I'm ugly, that I'm not that popular. Would you love me? 'Cause I'm a good timer, a good time. Want a man to be respected, keeping my commitments loose. I prefer to be rejected